Hi, welcome to Wednesdays with Wade. We're going to do something kind of fun today. I know everybody thinks spring is house selling time, but the fall is a fantastic time to do it as well. And there are a lot of people now that the kids are back in school and things are going on contemplating a move. And we're just going to talk through the very basics of kind of sprucing things up. Curb appeal is a big deal. You get a lot of drive-bys. A lot of people make their decision as they're walking in the front door, and there's about 1,000 little pieces of data that all come together as they're walking up to the front door and through the front door. So we're going to talk about curb appeal. This is a beautiful house here today, a beautiful yellow house. It's a fantastic color. It's bright and cheery, and nobody could possibly miss the color of this house. But yet it's not offensive in any way. It's just very warm and inviting. So we're going to talk about a few things. I brought my trusty rake along so I could point. And also, if you don't have one of these and you have bushes, you should go get a little bush rake. You can get in between and get it all cleaned out. I showed a house yesterday with lots of beautiful, albeit overgrown shrubbery in the front, but it was just filled with leaves and junk and debris that had blown in there, and that's what this is for. So as I look at this gorgeous house, the first thing I would do, there's a couple of pieces of landscaping that have gotten out of control, and I would trim that back. Nothing screams lack of maintenance like landscaping that hasn't been taken care of. So I'd get out the edger, even if you're not in the habit of doing that, edge it up nice, make it look nice, and go around. This has the rubber edging in there that's in great shape. It's just growing over with the grass a little bit. So as you walk up, you see well-maintained, well-trimmed bushes. If that little light pole was starting to flake or fade, I would spend the hour that it would take to rub that down with a wire brush and prime it and paint it. Again, that's one of those things that just says lack of maintenance if it's not taken care of. So we're going to walk through. I'm going to point a few things out on this house, and hopefully you can apply them to yours, even if you're not thinking of moving. It's just a great way to invite friends and make them feel like they're walking into a well cared for place. I showed a house this week that had some nice landscaping. It was a little bit overgrown, but it was just full of leaves and debris and even some garbage that had grown in here. And this allows you to get up in there and really pull it out without being disruptive or using a great big rake. So if you've got some shrubs, get a shrub rake and a good set of hedge trimmers. I've got the old-fashioned kind. You can certainly use the electric or gas ones as well. Just look, make sure there's no beehives up there or anything that looks like it needs a little bit of maintenance. And if you've got trees close to your house, I would also check on those. If there's anything touching down, just the lightest little wispy branch touching asphalt shingles will rake all the granular off of there and cause problems. That's going to come up on a home inspection. So if you need to get up and trim a few branches off, you're going to trim all this back with your weed whacker and then fill that up. And if you need some fresh mulch, do that. But then we're going to come around any place there's shrubbery touching the housing, get that off of there. So trim this one back, get it back into control, make it look nice. That would take about 10 minutes to regain this. Give a little definition between these two shrubs and just gives it a very clean, formal look. I always look at the outside first when I show a house because I want to see what's going on. I'm looking for some telltales with respect to grading and any cracks I might see in the foundation that I want to look at on the inside. So I kind of walk around outside. This is well maintained. You can see that they're getting the water away from the house. There probably has been some rodents around, maybe in the garage. There's a little tomcat trap out here. I would not have that here for showings. Imagine somebody comes around now, they've got all kinds of questions in their head about the rodents that might be around here. So if you have those, I think they're very functional, very practical. Don't have them out here when you're going to show your house. So make those go away. Otherwise, this is in great shape. There's a fence post here that they probably had something growing on, a vine or an ivy or something. If that's not in use, get it out of there. It's just one more thing to ask a question. What's that about? Is there something wrong with the house? Well-maintained atmosphere. That's what you're really going for. They've done a fantastic job. They use their patio and deck back here a lot, and it's just one of those inviting spaces that it's clean. I can see myself sitting there sipping a cocktail or having my coffee in the morning and enjoying this beautiful backyard. So they've got a beautiful little raised garden area here that they still use, very functional. There's a couple of weeds here and there. Maybe yours hasn't been well maintained. I know by the end of the summer mine's got weeds going on. If you're going to do some fall sprucing up and maybe some fall showings, I would make sure you get all the weeds out of here. Make this look like it's a fun place to come. It's easy. Vegetables basically spring up out of the ground and you just walk out and harvest them with zero work. If somebody sees all the weeds, then it brings that burden on them of I've got to keep up this garden area, and I may or may not be good at that. But they've done a nice job. They've got a lot of very practical vegetables in here. So this is beautiful. I couldn't ask for anything more than this. No weeds in the pathway, very few weeds in the garden. They've even got a little sitting area out here where you can come out and enjoy it or pick some things. So if you've got an area that might not be particularly beautiful, such as a garden or a work area or a parking area, do what you can do to spruce it up and make it look nice on that first impression. So now let's get a little closer to the house. One of the things that I would take a look at are your numbers. Wherever they happen to be, are they clean and fresh and nice and very visible? These are in great shape. Again, I showed a house yesterday that was 1712 and it was 171 and a faded out white spot where the 12 goes and no 12. So just take the 10 minutes and the $5 it takes to get some new numbers and put them up there. So we're going to approach this again, the shrubbery. This is a classic example. You probably come and go from your garage door every day, but somebody that's coming in here is hanging over the sidewalk. In this case, almost all the way over. Good, healthy summer growth, but needs to be taken care of. Somebody's going to walk in here and imagine it had just rained or there's mosquitoes or whatever. You got to trim that back. Make it look like it's well maintained, give them good clean access, and then you can see down here. Once that's gone, then you'll see a few weeds and some of the shrubbery or some of the mulch that needs to get back in there. It really will expose just those final few things that you can do to create some nice curb appeal. I'd probably come, put a fresh coat of varnish on this, beautiful bench, but again, that's not staying, that's your personal property, but still calls out some lack of maintenance here and there.
Hi. So I know Wade gave some tips for the outside curb appeal, and I'm going to kind of give the fine details now, all right? So a couple of things I would do is I would get a new welcome mat. So this one is, getting kind of old, it's dirty, and it's just kind of plain. So $16.97 gets you a new welcome mat, okay? And that's just going to be one of those first things they notice. The other thing, again, this house is in really good condition, but I would clean this window. Because again, that's going to be one of the first things they notice. We have found this glass cleaner works really well. Probably not as environmentally friendly as some people might like, but it's going to do the trick. And then the other thing, just for kind of some quick fixing, is I went to Menards. I bought the 2 mums. I happen to have a tote filled with some fall things that I have every year. So my little scarecrow, I made him a few years ago. This was actually a piece the homeowner had, and I just threw the leaves on it, and she actually had the baskets. So they are just the ugly potted from Menards. So that is kind of just a quick, people are going to walk up here and say, oh, that's so cute. And it took me, a couple minutes to do. The other thing, I threw the little wreath just on this bench that Wade had talked about earlier that you might, give a little coat of varnish or something to. But even just throwing the wreath on, really helps dress that up. Now, the other thing that I know this homeowner always has is she has made felt flowers and then wreaths. And she almost always has them hanging on her door. Today she didn't, but she has a variety of felt flowers made, and then she has a variety of ribbon. So she's utilizing the same straw wreath hiding under there, and she can change it out, for the season, depending on, what color of flowers or what she wants to use. So that, again, if you're not crafty, I get it. Go to Menards, go to Target, and buy the $17 wreath from the fall. I actually got this wreath at Goodwill, and it's actually cut in half. Because I use it to fill my window boxes this time of year when the flowers start to die. From a distance, people don't know they're fake. Thanks for watching this very special Wednesdays with Wade. Watch for future episodes where we will be giving more tips and tricks on getting your house market ready. And remember, if you want to be notified right away when there is a new Wednesdays with Wade, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much.